Welcome back to the rest of the story. Let me get the obvious question out of the way first. No, this is not us. No, we are not chopping silage for ourselves. I was asked if I would go help my friend out for a day. This is his and his family's equipment. And this is just what I was able to catch on video as I was helping throughout the day. I spent the morning helping him elsewhere on the farm, and this is just after 12 o'clock. And yeah, this is right when we first started. We managed to haul in, I think it was about 14 loads, just me and the guy running the chopper. This isn't, he's also another guy that helps him too, albeit a little bit more frequently than I do. I gotta say, this is kind of a throwback to the good old days. I guess I can't necessarily say the good old days because anybody that actually lived through the good old days can probably tell you that weren't exactly as good as you want to remember them as. You always look back at the good times and not so much the down times. But running the chopper here, this is newer than ours was. Ours was a 3950, I want to say. This is a 70. Runs the same, looks the same, sounds just like ours used to. Running the silo just like ours used to. You'll see it later on in the video here when I'm emptying one of these silage wagons. The 4630 that's on the chopper was significantly bigger than ours. Ours was 4440 at 150 horsepower stock, and we do know that our 44 was not putting out 150 horse. This machine in particular I am familiar with, and I think I can tell you that it's running about 180 horse. It might have had a little bit of work done on the injector there. And there I am. Anybody that's wondering, the 4230 is currently what I'm running. I guess I should say that anybody that is on my Instagram or has been kind of keeping up with me knows that this video was probably on its way. I guess I did put it out on there on YouTube, but I was kind of hinting towards the fact that this video was on its way. Now this 4230 is awfully light. It does have a loader on the front end, but the back tires, such like ours when we had it, or not this one, but when my grandpa's, it didn't have anything in the back tires either. This tractor was really light on the rear end. It was pulling these chopper boxes along just fine, but the loader on the front, you could definitely feel that it was definitely front end heavy. Now, I don't know the horsepower on this tractor, but I can tell you on this one in particular that I'm running, this is a first owner tractor. Ryan's grandpa, this is my friend Ryan's place. His grandpa bought this 4230 brand new, and they are the original owners of it. That's why it's been used for pretty much everything. And I think he told me it's got probably, not even exaggerating, it's probably got over 30,000 hours on it. Some of these older tractors, when they're properly maintained, Ryan is a mechanic himself, so he does a lot of his own work on his machinery, and he does a really good job of keeping this machinery maintained. It is an 8-speed power shift. I'm not really familiar with them. I'm not used to an 8-speed power shift on machinery like this. Like our 4640 quad range, back when Grandpa was still here, 4440, 4430, all quad ranges. Now, that's where we were different from my friend here. They have all power shift. Their 4430 is a power shift, 8-speed. This is a power shift, 8-speed. Their 4250 is, no, his 4630, I guess, is quad range. But I haven't hauled silage in like 5 years. 2013 was the last year that we chopped any forage. Now, I'm not saying that a day isn't going to come where we're going to start chopping to some degree again, but we just have to get there. And this is just I don't know if you want to say it's kind of like a reminder, a refresher course to make sure you know how to do everything properly. This is like riding a bike. I didn't have any issues at all. The only problem that I did have is hooking the PTO up from the chopper box to the tractor, and that is simply because the yoke on the PTO on this particular machine, I'm not used to where you have to push the yoke ahead and then pull it back to lock it on. It's backwards from everything I've ever used before. Now you can see that the PTO isn't running behind me. It is, but the shield isn't running, so I am safe there. I'm using the hand control on the front of the machine. I'm feeding it into the blower gradually to get it going, because getting these chopper boxes running, there's always a slug in the front of the box. Usually, if they're filled full. Now that is running properly, and I had to speed this up a little bit. This is the full length of the video, or of this unloading. They feed out really consistently once you get it running. I ran the tractor about 1200 RPM, just above idle. The blower I'm not familiar with. It's a 540. It ran quieter than ours. Ours was a 1000 RPM New Holland 40, I want to say. That thing could blow a lot of feed. This thing, you can see the hose just in front of me. There is a water hose right there. I don't know if I've shown it. Yeah, I'm adjusting it right now. I was running a full rate of water on this. It helps keep the silage from gumming up in the pipes and in the blower and everything. It keeps everything running properly. And you can see I'm already pretty well done. I started out my first load, this is the first load. It took me about 10 minutes to get unloaded. I had it down to just over 6 minutes by the time I got going. Once you start machinery I've never run before, I was basically just told, hey, go start hauling in. It was pretty much like riding a bike. Once I figured out what these machines can handle, I was definitely I was definitely slowed down by where the silage is going into the blower. There's an auger that's pulling that silage into the blower paddles. And I plugged that a couple times, and that was definitely where I was slowed down at. Once I figured out what it took to keep that happy and from giving me issues, I was able to pretty much run this out fairly quick. Like I said, we ran through 14 loads in, it was about 4 hours. We were done by 4:30. And yeah, 12:30 to 4:30. So that wasn't too terrible. That's pretty common for what we ran back when we were chopping also. I do want to say I helped my friend. He was actually not here, but I was with his grandparents and the other individual. All told, there was 2 other people other than me that were helping him this day. I gotta say, my grandparents and his grandparents were awfully alike compared to what I had when my grandparents were here. I helped his grandpa. I was with his grandpa all morning. Really similar to working with my grandpa. Went in for lunch, and this is what made me really homesick, was the fact that eating lunch with his grandparents, and I really didn't know I was going to be doing all this today. But like going in for lunch with his grandparents, I kid you not, guys, it was exactly like what I had with my grandparents when, like, before my grandma got sick, and eating lunch with your elders. I mean, I don't know how to properly say it, but you don't realize what you had until it's gone. And my friend, I'm sure he's living it every day when he's with his grandparents like this. But it really made me homesick thinking about back when my grandparents were still alive and making hay all day and going in and eating lunch with my grandparents. It's something you kind of take for granted when you're young and stupid and, being blunt. You don't really think things are going to change. And I got to say, it was a really, really good throwback to what I had when both my grandparents were here and working all day on the farm with them. I mean, at least back then it was through the summer and, after I got out of college. But, yeah, not trying to bring anybody down, but that's just something that kind of caught me off guard. I really wasn't expecting to spend as much time with his grandparents as I did that day. But, yeah, all I got to say is appreciate what you have while you have it, because you don't know how long you're going to have it until it's gone. And once it's gone, you're never going to see it again. So with that, sorry for bringing you down at all if I did. But take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.